But I feel like the affair excuse is a way better excuse than that. Like, why would someone who helped you with a miscarriage months ago, why would you visit them at the casino with the cameras turned off? What is up, fellow Beyond the Gates fans? I wish I was here more excited to talk about today's episode, today's Tuesday episode from November 4th, 2025. But unfortunately, I feel like it's just more of the same from this show. And that is just a lot of blah. While today's episode was certainly not as boring as yesterday, it was still a pretty damn boring episode. And I just can't understand why this show has decided to hit November sweeps still treading water. I mean, I know the show got renewed for a second year, and so I feel like the show maybe decided to just take it easy. But I don't really think that the show is safe enough for being a new soap opera on a landscape where soap operas these days, it's hard for them to survive. I don't understand why during a sweeps month they're taking it the same as the past month. I am really down on Beyond the Gates right now, honestly. I don't think I have been this down on Beyond the Gates since ever. This is the most down I've ever been on the show. I was down in the month of October. I felt like it was getting a little better during the end of October, and I was hoping that meant it was going to have a good November sweeps. But here we are, and I'm very disappointed. I know it's only been 2 days of November sweeps, and it could very well get better. There's still a month to go, and I do believe it will get better. We will have an event. They're having the Winterfest event. I love a good event on a soap opera. This show early on did some good events, so maybe Winterfest will give us some good TV. But that might just be me trying to be positive. And right now, I'm not feeling very positive about the show. I feel like a lot of this month, with even the story that I enjoyed the most right now, that being Hayley, Bill, Danny, Andre, I feel like it's still going to be a lot of stalling. Once again, we see today Hayley still doing her slow poisoning of Bill, but we haven't even gotten to the point where Bill is starting to feel the effects of that poison, which makes me believe it's going to be stretched out quite a bit long. And they've certainly made a big deal about telling us that this is supposed to be Hayley poisoning Bill slowly. And then she confronted Randy at the beginning of this episode, saying that she didn't like the excuse he gave to Joey that they were having an affair. He should have just said that he was a friend that ended up helping her, or they became friends after Sammy helped Hayley with her fake miscarriage. But I feel like the affair excuse is a way better excuse than that. Like, why would someone who helped you with a miscarriage months ago, why would you visit them at the casino with the cameras turned off? I think Randy had the right excuse. Hayley making Randy change his excuse today to Joey was probably dumb, because now that just seems even more suspicious that Randy's telling Joey, well, actually, I lied. We're not having an affair. I was just trying to impress the boss. Randy sounds dumb, and now Joey's even more suspicious that something different's going on. And I do believe Joey's probably going to figure it out sooner rather than later, maybe. Like, I don't want Bill to die. He's still one of my favorite characters, but I'm hoping it can give us some excitement along the way. This show needs a kick in the ass. It's actually a really bad state of affairs that I sit here and hope that Hayley is one of the only characters that can maybe make the show more exciting right now, when for the first 7 months, she was one of the most boring parts of the show. So I don't know if that is a good statement for where Beyond the Gates is during these here November sweeps. We might as well, speaking of Joey, move on to the Joey and Vanessa stuff today. It kind of got the most airtime when Vanessa brought Grandpa Gangster to the country club and was getting a lot of stares. We got to see the nosy Anastasia character for the first time in a while, giving her condolences to Doug, but then says to Vanessa that everyone is thinking what she's thinking, that Vanessa is out with this very suspicious person soon after losing Doug. And then Joey cut some joke about how he had Doug killed in an attempt to scare Anastasia away, I guess. But then Vanessa's sitting there looking dumb as always, like she's been looking for a month now, just looking so dumb with Joey and trying to be the new big bad villain in town, but sitting there looking dumb next to Grandpa Gangster when he's cracking jokes about Doug in front of others. So Vanessa felt some kind of way after that joke, but it didn't really seem to matter per usual. They moved past it quite quickly, and Joey offered her a job to like head up his escort service, which is fitting because Vanessa was using it the first few months of the show with her sex addiction. And then we learned that Diego is actually an escort, and Vanessa didn't know that they were having sex without her paying Diego. And I guess this was a way for Vanessa to get some put back against Anastasia at the end of the episode, because Anastasia is going to be working out with Diego, so she got to get her own shots in on Anastasia. I don't know. I thought it was very eye roll worthy. I've been saying for weeks now I'm not feeling the Vanessa character, not feeling this heel turn. Whatever it is, it's not working for me. It's another bad storyline on a show that has just had bad storylines piling up as of late. And among the bad storylines, if one thing this show can do during this sweeps month, if they're not going to give us excitement, then they need to at least wrap up these bad stories they have going on. It seems like we are going to wrap up Derek and Ashley, but I'm afraid where they're going to take it after. Are they just going to put Ashley back in Andre's orbit? That's going to suck too. So it's not really like fixing the problem with those characters. Are they going to end the Joey and Vanessa storyline? I don't see that happening, so I'm going to still have to suffer through that. At the very least, maybe they will move on from this Naomi and Jacob marriage issue mess where they continue to have issues over the fact that Naomi might have been pregnant, but she isn't. It's the same thing we talked about yesterday. Jacob wants them to have couples counseling, and maybe they do need it. Maybe that will end this painfully boring storyline. But Jacob went to Nicole today, and Nicole can't be their therapist because, there are some issues with there being family ties. Naomi talked about her marriage troubles to Chelsea. Honestly, if I would have been watching live, then this would have just been fast forward material for me. But unfortunately, I watch live these days when I can anyway, and I couldn't fast forward, but I would have. And frankly, that was kind of the episode. We had a little bit of Andre. Andre was working out at the beginning of the episode when Pamela came over to talk with him. Pamela was upset that Andre turned down the modeling opportunity for Forrester, which is hurting her and Danny's modeling agency. Pamela was wondering why Andre doesn't want his picture taken. So we are still talking about that possible backstory for Andre. It's intriguing enough, but with the way this show likes to stretch things out and stretch things out that don't need to be stretched out as long as they do them. I know it's typical soap opera, but this show needs an infusion of excitement. It really, really does. And I don't think Andre's backstory is necessarily going to be exciting. We also had Danny visit Bill at the beginning of the episode to basically get a donation out of him for Winterfest. Bill is probably going to be emceeing Winterfest because he's done it every year, and this was Danny asking him to do it again, saying that Hayley can be invited too. So that might give us some drama at Winterfest with Bill and Danny. At least I'm hoping. It could be where Bill starts to feel the effects of the poison for the first time. I could see that happening at a big event like this. But that's about it. We're still off to a rough first week of sweeps, and I don't think it's going to get better unless you really, really care about Ashley finding out that Derek can stand up. That seems to be the only big thing that's going to happen this week, judging by the preview. I am actually looking forward to whatever drama Samantha's going to bring for her family. We saw in the last week's preview that she's going to be having even more fights with her family. And if it's the teen scene that has to give us some excitement on the show, I will gladly accept that. I just need some kind of excitement. It is November sweeps. I don't think that excitement's going to be too big this week, unfortunately. But hopefully as the month goes on, they can give me something to believe in with this show again. I've been positive. I've defended the show when I can. I've defended the writing when I can. I said just a couple weeks ago during my Soap Opera Sunday little live I like to do these days that as bad as the writing as Beyond the Gates is getting, it's still better than the other American soap operas. And while I do still think that, it's barely better than them right now. It's getting as bad as the rest of them, and that is not a good thing.